Hello, this is Diana. This is my Trailblazers of the Universe YouTube channel. On my channel, I'm blending a mix of spirituality, self-improvement, and holistic healing to inspire you to become your best self. If that sounds good to you, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Today's inspirational message is, you can't rise up when you have heavy burdens weighing you down. Sometimes in life, you have to let go of everything you've ever known and even identified as to become who you want to be. A lot of people are trying to rise above their current circumstances or the past traumas and trying to move through this chaotic world, right? Trying to find your way, your purpose. You have so many distractions in the way. You have so many things trying to weigh you down on a daily basis. Some of it's within your control, some of it's outside of your control. Sometimes you're still trying to heal and move forward, and you just have this, what it feels like a big anchor weighing you down or trying to hold you back, right? And it's a heavy weight to carry. We have to learn to not carry burdens that aren't ours. We have to learn to let go. I know it can be hard to move through major traumas, I would know. Sometimes becoming this new version of us also means letting go of someone who we identified as for such a long time, right? Sometimes letting go of those burdens and those heavy weights, those anchors that are holding you down or trying to hold you down. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to let go of certain addictions, even our addictions to chaos and drama. Your nervous system literally gets used to being like activated and used to that chaotic energy. It can be hard to let go of that. So sometimes when we're trying to make positive, healthy changes, we self-sabotage because we're going back to what feels normal to our nervous system or just what we're used to. We're even comfortable in chaos, right? In misery sometimes. And it can take a lot to break through that. So in order for us to rise up, you really have to try to let go of what's weighing you down. Like, everyone has something that they're working on, whether you're actively doing shadow work or any kind of healing work. It can be tough. You have to have a vision beyond your current circumstances. You have to have a strong mind. Mind over matter. Sometimes you're in the middle of like what it feels like a black hole. And there's chaos and darkness and trauma, drama, all that kind of stuff all around you. And you have to somehow find the light. But the light's not out there. We're seeking outside for this light. But it's within us. It requires you to dig deep within yourself. And to see the bigger picture, sometimes you have to emotionally detach. How do you emotionally detach from trauma? That's a process of its own. I'm going through this as well. But what helps me is acceptance. Sometimes I try to reject the parts of me that have those traumas and addictions, but I accept that that's a part of my experience. I accept that that's a part of me. I made a short not too long ago. It was about, you don't have to let go of your past, you have to integrate it. And that's true, you're integrating it. Doesn't mean that this is all there is for me. It's just this was a part that became like fragmented because of trauma, right? Sometimes you gotta take a good look at yourself without any distractions, without any of your things that make you feel comfortable, and you sit with yourself very raw. I want you to honestly ask yourself, what's weighing you down? Try this, see what comes up, see what your intuition tells you, see what your subconscious tells you. When you feel like you're trying to move forward and it feels like there's this big anchor holding you back, what is that anchor? What's holding you back? If you have any kind of self-awareness or you're tapped into your intuition, the answer should come pretty easily, right? You should know what is holding you back. It's probably something that's held you back in the past, right? There's probably a pattern that this thing follows. So how do we not let it weigh us down? How do we not let something that has such an extreme amount of suffering and pain, even trauma, whatever it is, misery attached to it, we've given this thing meaning, so it weighs us down. Even when you've worked on processing that kind of energy and healing, sometimes it disappears in that form, but it comes back in another form. You just have to keep having the bigger picture in mind over matter. You know that if you continue to think, feel, and act differently and start a new pattern that circumstance will change, right? But you have to stay consistent in the way you're thinking, feeling, and acting. Or that's even the same if you're replacing like an unhealthy habit with a healthy habit. Same thing. When you stop focusing so much on the old negative stagnant energy, the burdens that have been holding you down, and you give more energy to new healthier habits and ways of being, the old burdens that were so heavy start to lose their power. They start to feel lighter because you've switched. Because even in focusing your energy elsewhere, you're helping release those burdens. We need to evaluate, like, what burdens am I carrying that aren't mine? Sometimes you're carrying family burdens that are not yours, and sometimes you're the black sheep of the family who's there to break all the ancestral trauma, so that can feel like a heavy burden. And do I want to keep walking around with this, what it feels like a big bag of rocks? Sometimes you're walking around with like a boulder. We don't need to be, you know? A lot of it can be released by just accepting. I accept that this happened. I accept that this was part of my experience. And yes, I'm going to process the emotions. I'm going to go through all the emotions of this experience, but then I can choose to do something else. I can let it go. It's okay to move forward. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves that it's safe to move forward. We don't need to carry that burden anymore. We want to be a different version. We have to stop letting things weigh us down. We have to rise above that. These things can be really heavy, but just keep being aware of these things that are holding you down and just making conscious choices to do something different, to release or to maybe channel that energy into something more positive. And if you're aware of the pattern and you're actually choosing to do something different than what you've done before, even if you keep going backwards, even if you're still doing that, with repetition, it will change. It will get better. You will break that pattern. You will release those burdens. Be gentle with yourself, accept yourself, and know that you are worth it. And all that, the work you're doing on yourself will pay off. Just keep at it. Doesn't happen overnight. It's not, no one says it's going to be easy. It's going to be rough. But when you come out on top and you overcome all that, man, your life gets a lot better. When you can release those burdens that have been holding you down your whole life, and you continue to release them, even if just a little bit every day, by accepting and doing the inner work, your life will improve. You can literally overcome anything. When you transmute that kind of energy, whew, you really become unstoppable. Don't give up, because you're worth it. That's all I have for today. If you like this content, hit those like and subscribe buttons. I also have a Facebook group, Instagram, TikTok, and 2 podcasts. The links are in this video description. I also offer coaching if you need intuitive guidance to motivate and support you on your healing, spiritual, and or self-improvement journeys. My contact information is in this video description. Have a good day. Namaste.